Hello everybody, how you doing? This is Pete, also known as Lord PeteyTV here, to give you another update for our Season 1, Week 3 Affix, what we're going to be having with our Mythic Pluses now. As you all should know, today is it's actually Christmas. So first of all, Merry Christmas to everybody. And then if you have a moment, please hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, or please go to our Twitch channel where we end up having our our main streams throughout the whole entire week for every single Monday through Friday. Now, what I wanted to tell you all is that this upcoming week is a little different than the last. So this upcoming week is going to be a fortified, sanguine, volcanic, what am I, and thundering. So first of all, let us take a quick rundown of what these things are and where you're going to go with them. So as always, we're going to be going through our normal rundown. So it is let me just make sure I got this because I forgot to put them on multiple monitors. Okay, so the first thing we have here is fortified, which is the non-boss enemies are going to have more health, and they're going to be dealing more damage, so you're going to be keeping an eye on that. Then we have our sanguine, which is when boss enemies die, they leave a pool on the ground, and when enemies walk through, they heal them, aka they do more healing than the healers. And then the last one we have is volcanic, which is the eruptions underneath yourself, and then your big old season 1 level 10 affix is going to be your thundering. Now so we're going to run this down once again how we always do. First thing what we're going to end up talking about is we're going to be talking about these affixes and how they kind of affect everybody when they're going through them and running through them. So first of all, when you're running through these, the way that they kind of work together to cause problems. So obviously, your fortified is going to take you longer to kill these mobs, which means they're going to be up longer, which means if you end up DPSing them out of order or one in a spot where the other one doesn't see, it means you're going to end up dropping a puddle sanguine and healing them. And because they have more health, naturally they can get healed for more, which is going to cause more problems, which is going to take longer to die, which means you're going to miss the timer. So be careful of that. Now, the volcanic, where that turns into problems is that the volcanic explosions over your go and hit your ranged characters, which are going to cause some problems there. So you want to be a little bit careful of that. And you have your thundering, which is obviously going to force you to separate, come back together, separate, come back together, to make sure that those affixes aren't going to be hurting you. So, first of all, in my opinion, how this week is going to go. As for your tanks aren't, I feel like aren't going to have that much of a problem, other than your fortified hurting you for too much. If you are an experienced tank and you know what you're doing with these mobs, you're ending up taking them, you're kiting them, and you're moving them around, which is very, very good and very, very helpful to you. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. Now, the other thing, I just wanted to pull up this right here. So that's not too bad. So you're going to be able to move, pretty smoothly between those things. As your tanks, you're going to be able to kite. You're going to be able to move around. You're not going to have a problem. Your thundering really isn't an issue because most of the ranged healers and the DPS and everybody, they deal with it mostly for you. And if you get a buff, they're just going to hit you anyway. So that's not a big deal. Now, as for your melee DPS, you're going to have a little bit of a concern and worry because of the sanguine drops. Now, the sanguine drops, where they're going to be turning into a problem is that when you're pulling a mob and you're kiting a mob, they're going to be having to stand to the side of them, not directly behind them. So what ends up happening is, if they're running behind you, you kill a mob, the sanguine puddle drops, you walk through it, you take damage. It's not going to be too bad, but it's going to be damage enough to the healer's going to have to heal you instead of being properly placing the damage where it has to be. Now, the other thing is that if you're standing on the side of that, you're going to end up being able to kind of kite around and move around with that tank and with the puddle drops. You're pretty good. So that's not too bad for that. Now, as for your ranged is going to be dealing with your volcanic. Now, Your Volcanic is going to, cause your healer, and it's going to cause your ranged DPS to have to stop doing your casts. So, your Beastmaster hunters are actually going to have a better week this week than let's say your marksman hunters or your casters, like your mages or your what are those other classes called, warlocks or shadow priests, which even though they got mostly dots, but they have some channels. But anyway, so you got to be really, really concerned with those. So your ranged DPS isn't going to have that much of an issue either. And like I was saying before, their healers are going to have to watch the Sanguine Puddles and the Volcanic. So they're probably the ones that are going to be having another crappy week, not nearly as bad as last week. So you're going to have to make sure you put to the side of them, move them around. Now, the other thing I want to talk about with that is going to be last week was very, very difficult. Well, first of all, before we talk about last week, meaning week 2, I want to just talk about the other thing that you have to be careful of with this week. This week, the only thing you really, really need to worry about is enclosed spaces that are small. So that would mean as your vault, you have a couple of very small hallways in there. So when you're pulling mobs, you got to be careful about things there. Temple of the Jade Serpent, you have your 2 big hallways. The first one, when you walk out, you hook your left, and then you're going to DPS those mobs. But that's a very small hallway, so it's very hard to kite there. And then after you defeat, Wise Mari, you're going to go to the other side. That has got some small hallways too, so you got to kind of have to put all your mobs to one side. Everyone's going to have to DPS on the other side, so you got to be careful there. As we like to call it, Alligator Academy, that one you have to worry about. Ruby Life Pools, there's a lot of space there. Even on the route, walking around that circle on the outside, there's a lot of space, so you don't have to really worry about that there. Vault, we talked about. Knockhood Offensive, that one you don't have to worry about because that's pretty open. Halls of Valor open, Quarter Stars open, Shadow Moon Burial Grounds, it's got a couple of small areas you got to worry about, but not too bad. And like we already spoke about, Temple of the Jade Serpent. So this week, my personal opinion, should be a little bit easier than normal, than the average, or I should say it should be an average difficulty week, in comparison to last week. Last week, I almost broke some stuff because I was having huge issues with getting groups past 10. Not being able to either DPS past what they're supposed to be able to DPS, people just dying to stuff, people not being able to heal through things, people not knowing how to DPS things down properly. I'm telling you, stressed does not constitute what that was all about. So it was very, very difficult to deal with. Now, all in all, I wanted to do, I want to say it's not going to be that bad. I'm going to be bringing that Thundering video this week, so you guys all have an idea of what you want to do. I'm going to add a couple of little clips and videos in there of that. But all in all, I want to say thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate it. We are actually on a raid break with the guild. So this week, and I think next week we are also on break. Maybe next week. I don't think next week. Maybe it's just this week. But anyway, so you might not see some new kill videos, but you're going to definitely see some more Mythic Plus videos because I'm going to bring them to you. Also, a couple of ideas that I have kind of brewing. Hopefully I can get those in. So thank you again, once again. Lord PeteyTV, right here on Twitch every single Monday through Friday. If you have time, make sure you go and you hit that subscribe button here. You got time to go over to that Twitch channel. Make sure you hit that follow button there. If you want to feel even generous, you want to hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to be doing the Dragonflight the Dragonflight subathon type situation. I was planning to do it to the end of the year. I'm going to see how that goes. I might even push it to next year to see how things go. And all in all, so hope you all had a happy and merry holiday. If I don't speak to you, have a fantastic new year. I will see you in the new year. Good luck on your vaults as you get them today, or I should say on the 27th, and I will see you all soon. All right, dream big, keep gaming. I'll see you all soon. Bye everybody.